Hey guys, welcome back to this special series hosted by your favorite host of AniyayAninay. Actually, your only host of AniyayAninay, of course. We haven't had anyone else on here. We've had guests, but no one else has been an original host, right?
Right. Why would anybody else be an original host if they hadn't been here from the get go?
True, but I mean,
We
people,
can add hosts,
yeah,
but we ain't found nobody capable yet.
true. We haven't had anybody yet. But this is our special series of Studio Ghibli. We've actually been meaning to get back to this for a while now, but we just kept putting it off, putting it off, putting it off.
Blaming work.
Work and also other things that came out that we wanted to talk about too,
Mm-hmm.
like the Crunchyroll Awards. That's one thing. But today we're finally getting back to it, and we are reviewing today the basically one of the gems of Studio Ghibli. Maybe not better than the ones we've watched, like Spirited Away or The Wind Rises or Princess Mononoke, but definitely a gem that came before them. We are reviewing Castle in the Sky.
What castle in the sky?
Yes.
Does that mean that there is a castle in the sky?
There was one in Sword Art Online, Joe. You know that.
Oh, there was? Dang. I'm tripping. Nah, let me stop playing.
But let's get started here, guys. I have to say, this anime is probably an icon, in my opinion. This is probably one of the earliest Studio Ghibli's. I think actually the second film to actually be a Studio Ghibli film. Or maybe it might have been technically the first. But, I mean, Nausicaa was always the first one, in my opinion, but Studio Ghibli didn't exist yet.
Mm-hmm.
So technically this would be the first one. Or one of the first. Unless Grave of the Fireflies came out first. I don't know. That's a topic for another story. I'm getting off topic. The point I'm trying to make here is that this movie definitely has a lot of things that I've seen in other animes, especially ones that fall around the steampunk or the diesel punk genre. You get what I'm saying, Joe?
I get you.
I mean, a lot of the things. I mean, the castle that floated in the sky was a
Mm-hmm.
steam powered. The robots ran off steam. We had air pirates, airships, steam powered, and that's all steampunk basically.
Mm-hmm.
Though I guess it's kind of weird because steampunk technically happens in like Western things. But I mean, this movie basically follows the tale of a boy who finds a girl that falls from the sky. Well, basically, she doesn't just fall; she is floating down from the sky.
Well, technically, she does fall, but then she starts floating.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go into detail on how or why, but then she starts floating. We can go into the detail later.
Yeah. Well, we're going to go into detail pretty much now because the reason why she's floating is because she fell off an airship that was being followed by air pirates who wanted a gem around her neck that actually is the reason why she started floating.
Mm-hmm. Apparently, it did a lot more than that, too.
Turns out that both of them have, I guess you can say, are connected to this castle that floats in the sky that's called Laputa. The boy who found her actually said his father saw it once, and supposedly everyone believes that Laputa is a myth.
Mm-hmm.
There was only one. The boy, his name is Pazu.
Yeah.
He is he is the one whose dad supposedly saw Laputa once during a storm and got a picture of it. But it's a very old picture, and you only see a little spot of it, so you don't actually
you see like a quarter of the castle, really, or of the island, because it's more of an island
Yes.
than just a castle.
And as for Sheeta, the way she's connected is supposedly she is one of the last descendants
Mm-hmm.
of Laputa royalty, people who
Mm-hmm.
did live on the castle. So both of them make their quest to find it. I mean, I would like to go more into this, like about the story and everything, but for anyone who hasn't watched this, since this is actually a very old Studio Ghibli movie, I don't want to go too into it because I want people to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want them to feel like, oh, they spoiled it for me. But I mean, anybody who's a Studio Ghibli fan probably actually has already watched this. But I mean, basically, it's one of your. It's like an adventure movie. It's like an adventure of trying to find something that everyone says is not real. And then trying to prove them wrong. But I mean, the main thing I like to say is that this anime or anime movie, whichever one you want to say it is. I don't know if you want to distinguish between the two, Joe, but I mean, what I'm saying is that there's a lot of things in this movie that basically you've seen in movies and animes that we have now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have, of course, like I said, robots, airships, pirates. I mean, the main thing, though, that I've seen is this storyline that you see a lot of. I mean, I would say that this probably was in a lot of other anime movies that was done by Studio Ghibli. Definitely in Porco Rosso.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Because I see the same kind of plot in Porco Rosso. And then also there's, although we haven't watched it yet, but it's also in Howl's Moving Castle too.
And although he wasn't trying to actually prove that everybody in the area was wrong. Or was right, or whatever. He was trying to prove that Pazu was trying to prove that his dad was not a liar. That's the whole reason why he was doing it. It's kind of like Nolan the liar.
Yeah. I mean, basically, this story is kind of like that boy meets girl moment.
Yeah.
Just depending on when it happens, depending on whichever one it is, the boy or the girl. The girl is actually the girl or the boy. One of them is special.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen this in basically a lot of new anime films that kind of capture that zest. I mean, one of them is Silent Voice. Another one is Your Name and Weathering with You. All three of them are probably movies you will never like. And also, if I recall, this was this was kind of like a reference. There was a reference moment in No Game No Life too. I can't remember exactly what episode. I haven't watched No Game No Life in a while. You ever watch that show, Joey?
No, actually, I haven't.
Oh.
My bad. My back was killing me.
Oh, well, No Game No Life is basically a show about where everything's decided by a game.
So if you don't play the game, you ain't got no life.
Well, more so like if you play the game, everything's decided by games. There's no rules, there's no wars, no weapons, no anything like that. So the way you win territory or even win, money or anything like that, it's by a game. But that's beside the point. The point I'm trying to make here about this movie is that it's basically become an icon. And although, like I said, it's technically it's a gem of Studio Ghibli, but I wouldn't consider it probably the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Because, of course, I would think still Spirited Away, Princess Mononoke, and The Wind Rises are still better. But it's definitely a gem that was made long before any of those. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about it, Joey? What do you think? Would you say that it's something that's impacted a lot of Studio Ghibli films?
I'd feel like it's impacted a lot of Studio Ghibli fans. Films fans. I feel like it's impacted the people and that watched it and just the films alone. I mean, I feel like it's great either way. Like it's a good eye catcher, basically.
Well, it's a film that probably anybody would like, in my opinion, too. Anyone part of that who likes that genre. mean, definitely, like I said, I just mentioned Sword Art Online was had the floating castle too.
The only, I mean, I like this one a little bit better because a part of its defense was the winds flowing in opposite directions. You know, it kind of like helped it out too. I like that gist of it.
Yeah, it was a shield to protect it, but then again, the castle was like was abandoned for the longest time, and also it was greatly powerful too. But I mean, we're not going to go into full detail about that because we don't want to spoil it for anybody who wants to watch the movie. But definitely, it's one of those movies that's like a really great one to watch, and definitely one of the best ones for Studio Ghibli. I picked this anime. I have no idea how I remember that I picked this one, but Joey is the one who picks the next Studio Ghibli movie now.
Yep, I sure am.
This is like
I don't know how we forgot that you picked it, my guy. You know, I really don't.
You mean you don't know how I remembered?
How we forgot that you picked this anime?
Yeah. Well, I mean,
we had to figure it out.
Yeah, we had to figure it out. But I mean, we haven't done this in a while, so I mean, of course, it's gonna. I mean, we shouldn't have many more, if I recall. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done 14. This will be number 15. So, I mean, there shouldn't be many more. So, Joey's looking for one right now. He's got to find one. He's got his hands looking for the one he wants. He's just got to feel out for it. Give him a minute here.
We're gonna grab one of these. This one.
Okay, he's got one, guys. So let's find out what it is.
Alrighty, let's see.
Here we go. Can't read it?
Nah.
Oh, Nausicaa.
Oh, Nausicaa, okay.
So, finally, we will be doing the very first Studio Ghibli film. Well, technically, it wasn't, like I said, in the beginning, wasn't. Studio Ghibli did not exist yet. It was made by Topcraft. But, I mean, that would later become Studio Ghibli. So, I mean, we'll get more into that when we actually do review it. So, we hope you enjoyed this episode. But before we leave, we would just also like to mention, if you liked our video and liked the info we gave you about Castle in the Sky and you like all of our other reviews, please like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification bell as well. Until next time, I'm John.
And I'm Joey.
We'll see you
on the next show.